Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. Today we are back on the Mon Ultimate. Bit of a surprise stream this. But yeah, we're on the Mon Ultimate. It's very broken. Three. But yeah, we're here on the Mon Ultimate. Switch over. Welcome, welcome. And boop. There we go. Right, and I need to click start driving. So yes, we're here for 2.4 hours of the Mon, as hosted by SROL. I forgot to put their link in the description, because being in a little bit of a rush. But yeah, SRL, of course, same community. We've been running, we did our first Le Mans Ultimate racing back in December. 90 minutes of Fuji. We've done some various races with them over the last couple of years. A few classic, of course, the sports car races. The GT1 race at Trios Riveras not too long ago. That was with this group. As well as the WRC stuff, the championship this year, and the Richard Burton's Rally events we've done recently, including just the third round on Tuesday past. So yeah, we're here in the LMP2 class. I tried out the Mustang GT3. They did a test race on Wednesday night, and yeah, give the Mustang a little go since we're racing that on Mondays, just to see how it would feel. Oh, God, it was not nice. It really was not nice. There is an opportunity for us to change what car we're racing in that Monday GT3 series. And originally I was like, I'm going to not take it up. I'm going to continue on with Mustang, but having tried it now, I think I might. If it sort of seems to be as bad as it's looking, yeah, might use something else for Mondays instead. Because some reports, early reports of course, saying that it's not a very fast car either. It's probably one of the slower, if not the slowest GT3 now, and from the driving I did, it did not feel stable in the slightest. Very sort of dangerous car to drive, a very difficult car. So we've gone in the LP2 class. Partly to help the numbers in it is the smallest class here, but we should still have things like 14 drivers signed up for the class, which is a good fair amount. We should have about, I think it's like 56 people in the race entirely across the three classes of Hypercars, LP2 and GT3. Our way through the, we call these all the Porsche curves. Each corner has a different name. I think one of them's a Corvette curve, but we just call them the Porsche curves. So we do into the Ford chicanes. And we'll be starting our first flying lap. We're only going to get to in this 10-minute qualifying session, so we better make them count. Dunlop chicane and under the bridge. Deep into the first chicane. Honestly, gotta say, that sounds like a skill issue. I did some practice in the Hypercars earlier this week and it was fine. And jumped in the LMP tonight. Fine. I'm not the best on brakes. I do lock them quite a bit, but I don't think the LMP2s and Hypercars have barely changed with the update. GT3s have changed a lot, but they have ABS, so maybe you need, if it's them that you're struggling with, you might need different, change your ABS setting. Good evening, Kiki. Rear wanted to snap around there. Oh, alright. Been a good week. Busy week this week. But good week, I would say. Productive. Tidied the room a little bit. Chicane, so that wasn't a great entry. .39.8, over 4 seconds off the top time moment. Definitely a little bit of time in the lap. Don't know if there's 4 seconds in it. By 10th and a half up as we come on to SROL Straight, or Mulsanne Straight. Have the SROL Straight in my mind from Paul Ricard because it's one of the tracks that will be coming to them on Ultimate in the near future. If you didn't see earlier today, they announced version 1.0 of the game will be releasing. Much better exit there. But yeah, version 1.0 of the game will be releasing in a little over a month's time. And then after that they will be releasing European Le Mans series content. ELMS, including the LMP3 car slash class, which is the tier under LMP2, of course, as well as 3 tracks: Silverstone, Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, as well as Paul Ricard. I was talking in a Discord server about the potential variations of Paul Ricard that could come into the game, especially regarding the chicane on the Mistral straight for it. Oh, I did not get the car slowed down there. Yep, threw away good. Nearly 2 seconds there. I'm just really struggling with that first left-hander in the Porsche curves. The car initially doesn't want to turn in, but then it really grips up mid-corner. End up getting the line all wrong there. We'll do a practice pit entry, because we can. Quite close to the middle of pit lane. So we are. Where are we? Out of 12. A couple of drivers haven't said time yet, but are still on laps. Currently sit, well, we were P6, dropped down to P7 from those late runners. I feel like I maybe could have got myself back into P6 for the next car in front, but yeah, or now P8. Now we wait for start of the race. Oh, I really killed that front left tire with that lockup. Wow, it took, well, compared to the front right, 14% out of it. Yeah, it's not going to be ideal. Not sure what strategy for this race is going to be. We can do about 11 laps on a tank of fuel.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Very hot temperatures, 26 degrees ambient. Um, 49 degrees track. Gonna make it difficult on the tires. Probably go overheat a bit. The car does feel very good. Has a nice front end. Yeah, has a good front end through the Porsche curves. But that does wear away as the stint goes on. It does start to understeer a little bit. It does feel understeery in the chicanes a little bit. And then when you try and get on the par, the rear end sort of likes to snap out a little bit. I'm going to take, no, there is no hard tire, so there isn't. The LMP2s only have mediums, like the GT3s. It's only the Hypercars at the moment that have different tire compounds. Also gonna bring the rear wing down one angle, just to try and get a little more straight line speed out of it. Yeah, we'll go with the inside for T1.
Formation lap has started.
By the looks of it. One of the things they've changed with the new update is that the game forces you to wait at this stage. Until that point of yeah, until that point of it saying that you can go. The series has slightly different rules with the formation lap. You're not allowed to go above 50 kilometers an hour at any point. Or sorry, 80 kilometers an hour at any point, and the leader should be going 50 kilometers an hour. The leading LMP2 car was not going that much, and now we're slowing down an awful lot. Game is getting a little bit framey here.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh, this is a really annoying place to get a green flag. Right, into the chicane. We hold on to P8. This is very... My game is struggling a little bit. That's a very weird start. I think multiple people were having sort of like performance issues of some sort. And then when I hit the brake, it felt like the car wasn't slowing down for T1. Don't know if that was part of the performance issues or not, but... I've killed the front right tire with the lock up in that opening lap start. Oh, I can feel a flat spot on the front right. Wheel just vibrating the whole way down the straight. That's a little vibration. I don't know why the game's performance is still so bad. Here when the field is, alright, you know, we're lapping, the field is spread out. To do on strategy, I think it will repair the damage. The game's starting to feel better. And I think that shows being 1.2 seconds up in the first sector. of the LMP2s in front made a mistake. It's allowed us to close in Hypercar here. I braked a little bit too late there. I say a little bit, probably about 20 meters too late. 20 to 30 meters. Just give away a second for no good reason. Looks like LMP2 might have got caught up in that. We've now got 3 of them sort of in front of us when there was just 2. Evening, Kevin. Going well? Well, I say going well. Let's just say the game had a struggle at the start, and it's not put us in the best place. We have, well, we are currently where we qualified. But was not an easy start to the race. Trying to close up now on those in front of us. I haven't done that too much driving on the update, or since the update came out. I've only done what I'm doing here, the LMP2 at Le Mans, which hasn't changed too much. Hypercars at Qatar, which I did struggle with a little bit. And I drove the GT3 Mustang around Le Mans here on Wednesday. It was really struggled with it. Really didn't enjoy it. But yeah, Mustang is very different in the new update. But I've only driven the Mustang since the update, so I can't say too much on how the update has been in that regard. Still a little too deep into that chicane again. BMW going very slowly there. damage that we have. Not making it easy. Not making it too easy to pass the Mustang there. Like driving a different category. Interesting. Yeah, quite a few people saying it's very different. Yeah, the Mustang wasn't very fun to drive on the limits, as felt like whenever you overstep the mark, even just a little bit, it just snapped out from you completely and was like impossible to save. Yeah. But with the new update, it feels like a very fine line between maximizing the car's potential and the car just completely snapping out from under you, which makes it very challenging, very difficult. LP2 running wide in lets us through rather than rejoining onto the apex in front of us, which is the right thing to do. Though not something you see too often when people get a little frustrated having made a mistake like that. Not quite being able to keep up with the pace of the two cars in front, unfortunately. Happy with the online racing standards, that's good to hear. Public lobbies are always a mixed bag. I've certainly heard quite a few people saying that they've generally been positive. Have also had a few people saying having their issues. Starting to feel the front end wash out just a little bit more now through those Porsche curves. That's not the line. guy was in practice session. Interesting. I've decided when we come into the pits at the end of this first stint, I am going to change the front tires. I don't know about the rear tires. I don't know about changing the rear tires because they don't really need changing, but if I'm changing the fronts, then I'm definitely could possibly have a sort of balance problem. The only time this car really gets oversteery is in some with traction in a couple of corners, the two chicanes and Indianapolis. Everywhere else, traction is quite alright. That was lovely front right lock up. I did not see the hypercar coming because the hypercar's had an issue at some point and is passing us for position. So we're not getting the blue flags for them, which is annoying. I really need... This front right tire is really struggling with the flat spot. And it's got much worse. Off the carb. Five laps of fuel left before we pit. BMW hasn't reappeared yet. Turned in a little bit late there. I'd say where straight line speed is like compared to the LMP2 behind. Of course, same car, but could be running a very different wing angle. In a bit of course slipstream is going to help that. Other side BMW. loosened up on the brakes quite a bit there. Can obviously be a bit more confident than I can with this flat spot. Oh, held on in front of the LMP2. That was a bit scary. Lamborghini lost its rear wing going very slowly in the middle of the Porsche curves. Luckily we didn't lose out too much to it. Faster than the LP2 behind that lap. Opened up quite a bit actually in the first sector here too. 1.4 seconds, so not going to be giving any slipstream to the car behind, but they may still close in a bit with a lower wing angle. Spun 3 seconds after him, he didn't brake at all, crashed into it and started pushing until he RTG'd. That's just rude. I mean, he wouldn't have done himself any favours with that. So, seems like we have suspension damage of some sorts. If it's giving us the option to repair all, not just repair body. Got another hypercar coming up to pass us for position again. And the slipstream. Also just going to turn on my headlights, because why not? looks like the car behind isn't able to sustain the pressure. They'll probably get the position through the pit stops anyway when we repair the damage. Vibrations get really bad at the end of the straight. I definitely can't take this front right tire another stint. Of course, they did change the UI a little bit regarding fuel strategy. So it says we'll have 30.4 laps remaining when we pit. With 30.4 laps remaining from now, it looks like. GT3 Chevy spun Indianapolis, or crashed. Did they crash? I thought I saw it lost its rear wing, but then I look in the mirror and I think I can see its rear wing again, so not sure. Lamborghini spinning off into the Porsche curves. Did that a couple of times myself on Wednesday when I was trying out that car, the Mustang. It was quite wide of the apex there. I think they're struggling a little bit. Wide of the apex there for the left-hander. Car doesn't feel too bad until there. Slide coming off that curb. Not close enough to get this McLaren. for this first chicane. Probably lifted too early there behind this Aston, or maybe not. Maybe that's actually about the right time to lift. Close enough to get around this fry before the Porsche curves. It'll have to be a daring. Daring move. Got it done. That's very rude of the game just to suddenly elevate that from a yellow to an orange at the last second. If it was orange, I would have lifted a little bit. But since it was yellow, I thought it was only going to be 0.25 because I didn't run that wide. So, pitting at the end of this lap. Already by halfway through our track warnings. We're only about a quarter of the way into the race, just over in fact. Are we just over? Yeah, just over a quarter of the way into the race. We maybe could have pitted a few laps earlier, just to get off these flat-spotted tires, fix the damage, get on our way. Since it seems we do about 10 laps. Within 36 minutes, which is a quarter of the race length. So the 11th lap is really just an extra lap that we'll take out of a future stint. So definitely had the ability to pit on maybe like 7 laps into the stint, then make it to the end on 11 lap stints. Thank you, front tires. Just so easy to lock them up with the state they're in. Actually change your plan. I'm gonna do 10 lap stints from now on. Also, look how the bottom left says 72 litres is 13 laps. That's not right at all. I thought they would have fixed that, but apparently not. 10 laps, we want 65. Is that? Yeah, that seems to be good. It might be a little bit tight, but a bit of lift and coast for when we're lapping GT3 cars. And yeah, it'll not be too bad. What's the damage? Like, what? 23 seconds? That's not too bad. I mean, we need to gain a second a lap, really, to make that up. Which might be possible, you know, if the damage repair helps us to not wear the front tires out as much. You know, then we would gain that lap back over a stint. So, just waiting patiently. Thankfully, GT3 in front of us heads out, so we have a clear exit from our box. You can see quite a few people making their way through pit lane around this time. No one coming in the fast lane. Oh, come on, McLaren. You're not blind. Maybe you are, I guess. Cold front tires, of course. Actually got them up to temperature very quickly. One other thing I will say, it seems like the tire HUD here has changed in a way that the temperatures show. Originally, I think they were carcass temperatures or core temperatures of the tire, because there wasn't that much fluctuation in the tires, you know, and it seemed a little bit different than the sort of what you've seen in the bottom right temperatures. You know, those temperatures, those colours would fluctuate quite a bit, you know, as the surface of the tire heated through a corner under heavy load and whatnot. Yeah, you gotta be careful with the rear tires. But now there's a lot more fluctuation in the tires. Like, when they through a corner, they gain temperatures so much quicker. And I think that's because they've changed how that readout, or what the exact data that readout is showing. Still tire temp, but I think it's surface temp instead of core/carcass temperatures. Car on a straight now, silky smooth. But it is a little bit imbalanced now. The rear end is sliding around a bit. But yeah, that's what we expected. Lapped by our first hypercar. Peugeot's gonna sand it up the inside there, which I wouldn't have done. You're gonna have to be patient, Alpine, as I'm sending it around the outside of a GT3. And I'm passing a Mustang here. And I'll lift, just to make it a little bit easier for them. That's a cut. Ooh. I'm not sure this is a good idea, having really changed the front tires. I think the car's just maybe a little too unstable for it. So yeah, we have seen a few people push the stint a lap longer. Also, it'd be nice if this BMW could, like, drive in a straight line. See, like that snap there. Another Alpine passing us. Another Peugeot coming up as well. They're not going to get to us in time though before the braking zone of... Well, Sam actually closed up on the Alpine more than I expected to. Goes the Peugeot. What did you miss? Not much. We made our pit stop. Got driven into a little bit by a McLaren in the pits. Though I don't think it's done any damage, thankfully. first time through the Porsche curves now without traffic in front of us. Curve feels really nice through the Porsche curves now. It's sort of everywhere else where it just doesn't feel balanced. Also, that curb that splits the pit entry and the track actually drags the car over to the right quite a bit, which, as I've been getting sort of maybe a little bit greedy with it, has been surprising me. So just gonna have to stay off that one. See, that's a good example of how sometimes just lifting into a corner can help you overtake a car. You know, we lifted going into it, we were able to carry so much more speed than the Lambo 3D Apex, which we wouldn't have been able to do if we didn't lift beforehand. And then, you know, on the exit, we were alongside them, I think, earlier than they expected us to be. Because we just played our cards right. Of course, it still lost us time, but didn't lose us as much time as we would have had we not lifted. So we're trying to catch the car in front. They're 9 seconds in front. They weren't like by 11 when they came out of the pit lane, but of course if they had cold tires, we would have closed up a little bit as they warmed them up. Though that gap has sort of just been around 9 seconds for the last couple of laps. Corvette running it in a little bit deep. Really on the limit of braking there. Someone's off in the gravel. I think it's a hypercar. Alpine? Alpine. Well, I changed the front tires. At that pit stop past. I think I'm going to change all four in the next pit stop. And run them to the end. I needed to change the fronts because they were just too flat spotted. But I thought I could maybe get away without changing the rears. Save myself, what, 7 seconds? And be okay for this stint. And maybe one more, but no, it's not working as well as I hoped it would. Although then, you know, maybe as the front tires wear out, it'll actually come towards us. Again, nice dose of slipstream here from the Porsche. Turned into early for the left-hander there. And you can see that not taking rear tires is really affecting my pace. Like, I'm struggling to get close to the time I did in stint 1 with the flat-spotted tires and the damage. You know, I theoretically should easily be able to beat that time having repaired the damage and the front tires being new. But the rear instability is genuinely costing me quite a bit of time. Of course, not to mention the traffic isn't helping with lap times either at the moment. But that is part of multi-class racing. It would be as fun if it wasn't like that. Ooh, Porsche down the inside of... I think it was a Fry behind. Yeah, I gotta agree. I feel like it rarely is worth fixing the bodywork damage. It takes quite long for the little advantage you get from repairing it. A soda being dive bombed by the Porsche. Coming up on the leading Porsche in GT3 now. Round the outside. That was risky, but made it work. Stepping out. Another twitch. If the front tires do kind of wear out through this stint and the balance gets better, I might not change the tires at the end of this stint. But if it doesn't get better, then I think I will then try and run to the end on that set of tires. You can see they're just approaching that second chicane as gaining on my delta despite not having any slipstream or anything, simply from having repaired the damage. I can see it again here, even with the poor exit we had out of the chicane. That was very weird twitch. It seemed like the fronts wanted to lock there, but then the rear snapped round. And then from there I couldn't get the car slowed down. That's annoying. More damage to repair next pit stops. So I think we'll just change the tires. Rear end's even worse now. Oh dear. Also, I really hate the fact you can't engage the clutch at a high speed. In fact, I need to pit now. Ah. 23 laps remaining, according to the strategy. Damage is... what's... 163 seconds. Ain't gonna be here a little while, unfortunately. That's such a small mistake in Indianapolis. Oh, 2 minutes to go. Yeah, unfortunately, you've missed the good part of the race. As yeah, a little mistake into well, it's a little rough little start on lap 1. Wasn't too bad though. We got through, but we did have some damage. Flat spotted front tires, but we got through the first stint. Second stint took a little bit of a risk. I changed the front tires, and I left the old tires on the rear, and let's just say it didn't pay off. Yeah, it did not pay off. Had a little twitch going into Indianapolis. Couldn't get the car slowed down, and yeah, tagged the wall, damaged the car, and then lost it again. There, a little later on. And yeah, about 165 seconds of damage. Little more than half of the race to go. But yeah, the chance of gaining any positions is slim at this point. But we'll try and make it to the end. I think because we spent so long in the pits and we're an extra lap down there, I think we might be able to run flat out to the end, which would be nice. But we might have to save a lap of fuel. Don't know the pace of the two cars in front of us. Of course, they are nearly 3 minutes in front. But if they do have to make an extra pit stop compared to us, that'll close up some time, and hey, who knows how much quicker we're gonna be. You never know. They might make a mistake. They might be struggling with something of sorts. Might be able to make 1 or 2 places, and hey, someone else might make a mistake further in front as well. Definitely potential for a couple of positions, though we would need something to happen for that to be the case. That is close enough. Is probably maybe a little too far back there to make the move. Should have backed out. Which I kind of did do, but the Aston still left the space. Now we're coming up on the lead GT3 again. This time not lapping them, but passing them for position, it seems like. I forgot to turn streamer mode on. Discord had an update too yesterday or a couple of days ago. I thought, oh, maybe they'll fix the streamer mode not activating. Nope. Still broke. Not ideal having the Lamborghini come out of the pits right there, but nothing we can do about it. Cut that. Must have done ever so slightly. Lamborghini isn't quite going to catch up to us before the chicane here. They should get us before the second chicane here. Bit of an odd line from the Lamborghini through that chicane. Weaving to try and get their tires up to temperature. Which I don't think is particularly worth in this game. Not at this stage of the lap too, when you've been through a good sector of Le Mans. It should be up to a decent temperature by this stage. Too early there for the last left-hander. Can see how much quicker we are now without any damage and new tires. I lifted, and it's like, oh yeah, here, still have the warning. Screw off, game. Yeah, I've just given up half a second for no reason now. curb, sorry, nearly stamped the car around. I don't know why I tried to break the Toyota there. I just kind of wanted to see if I could. Not a good idea, shouldn't have done it, but tip for the lulz anyway, I guess. Seeing in the Discord, I think someone apparently has had a random engine failure that's put them out of the race. Real shame for them. .341.0 for the car in front. We can do quicker than that, but only by about a second a lap. We'd need much more than that if we actually wanted to catch them before the end of the race, even if they have to make an extra trip through pit lane. Yeah, they are apparently. Which, I'm not too surprised for, like, single player. But in multiplayer, I'm surprised that they exist. Apparently I've heard a couple of people say that a higher time multiplier increases the chances of getting a random failure. And we're on, I'm pretty sure, 3 times time multiplier for this race. So we'll be heading into the night. I can't like caught up to us before going into Porsche curves, and then we, if anything, opened the gap up through the Porsche curves and to the end of the lap. Don't seem to be the most confident hypercar driver. They should easily pass us now on the straight where, yeah, the hypercar just has more straight line speed. No skill required. And I'm glad they're passing me now and not like as we go into the Porsche curves and then they hold me up for the entire sequence. car in front is pitting. They got a drive-through earlier this race, which is one of the reasons why they're a little further back. They'll have to make another pit stop to get to the end from here, so that might be someone we might be able to close in on and pass, because I don't think they're that quick, but we'll have to see. Haven't noticed any of their lap times so far this race. That isn't gonna help. Well, the Cadillac binned it. Thankfully dragged itself off the track before we had quite arrived on the scene. Alright, just wanted to lock there. And we're already past them. Very deep into the chicane there. That's a little bit wide there through left-hander. You can see we're getting closer and closer to sunset, which will help the tyres for the final stint. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to change the tyres for the final stint here, but it'll keep them a little bit cooler, probably help lower tyre wear, help the tyres survive to the end of the race. Another one of the cars coming into the pits in front of us. Of course, they'll not need to take on as much fuel as us in the final stint of the race. And if they're changing tyres now, they'll have newer tyres for us to the end of the race. And their pace doesn't seem to be too bad. I think we are a little bit quicker when we're not held up by traffic, etc. But we're not that much quicker. They can lap within a second of our time, so I think that will be enough to keep them in front. Quite a bit of gravel getting kicked up there. only 12 seconds in front of us. I didn't think we'd be that close. Leader is pitting. Closing up to an LMP2 car. This is P5 within the class, which isn't going to be ideal that we catch them here, because if we're very similar pace, we might just end up holding each other up. Hopefully they're just struggling with slightly cool tires. That was a weird way to pass the Corvette. Slipstream now as they made a mistake at the exit of Mulsanne getting into the gravel. You can see there, we barely closed in, even with the big slipstream pull. We must be running much lower wing than we are. I sent it a little too hard. Trying to pass the Ferrari. Oh! The LMP2 we were chasing down was dead in the Porsche curves there. I didn't even notice that. I thought the yellow flag was just for me. But no, it's for the other LMP2. I was thinking there, oh, that mistake, it's cost us time, you know, and that's more time to try and catch up to the next car in front, but well, I mean, there is still a car in front. But it's not the car I was thinking we'd be trying to chase down to catch. I'm not sure we have the pace to chase down the next car in front of us. They're into the pits. Must have a fair bit of damage. That was just their out lap. Was it their out lap or was it their first flying lap? I can't remember. I think it was... I can't remember. One of the two. Yeah, shame for them. It would be nice to see if we could have caught up. The 11 would have been closer to 15-second gap there. Bad bounce off the curb. up to P7 now, one place up from where we qualified. Chances of getting any more positions this race are, I'd say, somewhat slim, reliant on other drivers making mistakes at this stage. Also a bit of a shame that the one driver we probably could have caught up with and have had a good battle with without them making a mistake is the one driver that did make a mistake. Shadows getting ever longer as we get closer to sunset. What's time now? Nearly 9 o'clock in game. Why'd I do wheels within the white line? Screw off game. Let's see if I can set a new personal best lap. It's preferably within the 340 range. Slipstream 2 to help us on our way. Like that, half a second up already. But we do have a couple of GT3 cars I think we'll catch up to, or maybe just one here. Is the leading Porsche of the GT3 class. Little lock up just as I went to turn into the right-hander there of the chicane. Thing cost me a little bit of time, but still quicker than what we set on our current, well, legal best lap time that didn't have a track limit violation. Not the best exit from Mulsanne corner there. 336.7 for the leader, setting a new fastest lap of the LMP2 class this race. Sun getting ever lower in the sky, starting to blind us a little bit as we head towards Indianapolis. Someone has had an issue here. to cost us a bit of time. That's 4th place within the LMP2 class. Now, are we going to have this annoying thing where we're holding each other up? At least it seems like their pace is on these straights. So if they are going to pass us, they'll do it in a straight line. And just hopefully they don't hold us up in the corners. We are closing in on the car in front. I stayed on the throttle bit there on the exit because it's seen the McLaren spun and it's like, hang on, let's just make sure we're able to avoid them if they are in a peculiar position. But yeah, we are currently right in the middle of 3rd and 4th place within the LMP2 class. If we were fighting for position, this would be a really good fight coming up, but unfortunately, we are a lap down. We were 2 seconds quicker than the car in front last lap. I think I went on lap myself. How's track limits? Okay. Interesting thing here, I'm not getting blue flagged. I should be, but I'm not. That lockup wasn't good. How have I got to 71% already in that short lockup? I didn't think it was that bad of a lockup. The rears were also trying to lock up as well. I can feel a little vibration. Blimey. Yeah. You have one sizable lockup now in this game, and you're gonna notice it. This is the first time I've been shown the blue flag for the LMP2 behind me. I need to lift for that track limit. Oh, come on, game. You lift and it's like, oh no, have the penalty anyway. How is that warning too? Oh well, at least it puts us out of this little battle for So pitting at the end of this lap. Game says it's going to be 10 laps remaining at the end of this stint. So I'm going to put 11 liters, 11 laps of fuel in, just in case it is 11. But I'm not going to put the extra 3 liters in that we can, because I don't think we'll need to fuel save for 12. As I brake themselves for this chicane. And you have to feel the tires now, see if I want to change. The flat spot isn't too bad. Though to be honest, it's not like I'm in any fight. 50 seconds to the car in front, 140 to the car behind over 2 minutes. I might as well just take new tires. Go for a faster personal best lap. That lock up on the front left there didn't cost me nearly as much as the front right did into Mulsanne. I'd like to know why that's the case. Corvette here had an issue at Indianapolis. Car in front comes into the pits, but we will be too. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I did on the previous lap for the drive-thru, and it gave me half a track limit point. This time it's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. "60-second pit stop." Quick little drink before we get going again. Wait, did it just say 11 laps remaining there? It's now saying 11 laps. Which isn't bad. Which isn't a problem, because I put 11 laps in. I was thinking, wait, it's gone from 10 to 11? Oh god, I've messed up here. It's like, no, I did put the extra lap in for safety. Track much cooler than where it was at the start of the race. Remember, it was up at like 49 degrees at the start of this race, down to 25 now degrees Celsius. That's going to make it a little bit harder to get the tyres up to temperature than it was in the earlier pit stops. But once we do, they're not going to overheat as much. I think the car in front only changed 2 tyres, judging by the fact they've gained an 8-second margin over us. Or they had 8 seconds less worth of fuel to fill up. Could also be the case. Again, a little bit annoyed by how many cars don't show up on the race labs relative. As you see the blue flag flash there for a moment, as we have the leading LMP2 car behind us. Though I feel like they're due a pit stop in the near future. I would know if they were, for sure, if the race labs relative worked, but unfortunately it is not. Oh gosh. Oh. The engine's not wanting to start. Oh, I think I know why. Well, that was unexpected. I'm just going to engage the pit limiter because... yeah. And I'm just going to take all this fuel out. I mean, that is kind of what you would expect if you had like a broken tow rod. You know, when you see the wheels like flailing around. And know there's a like access road here that's gonna be safer for me. You know, that's sort of what this game is simulating here, which is quite nice, you know, that it simulates that. But it does make it very difficult to drive the car in these situations. If this was real life, I would not drive this back. You wouldn't. It's got worse. Wonder how long it's going to take to repair this. Oh, but as much as the other damage, like 160 odd seconds, despite having completely broken the rear suspension apparently and lost the rear wing, rear body work, and a little bit of front body work since we dinged it on the way back. So we wait patiently again. Still a little over a minute to go. We're in the pits for 3 minutes here. Technically, this is 9 minutes are going to pass in the in-game time while we're here in the pits. Not too long to go now, less than 30 seconds. Odd. See, the time there is like 13 seconds to take... Wrong button. Just got that both of them through since we're on cold tires. The track's now down at 22 degrees, so it's going to be even harder. To get the tires up to temperature. Oh, someone else retired. That puts us back up to P7. So yeah, they must have retired while we were in the pits. And one of the things that changed with the update that came on Tuesday is that every car that retires is positioned behind all of those that finished. So even though that car would have done more laps than we have currently, we're classified in front because we're still running. And as long as we do a little bit more distance than them, we're guaranteed to be in front of them. Even if we were to retire. But yeah, if the race finished at the end of this lap, we'd be in front of them. Even though we've probably completed one or two less laps. Oh, come on! Why is the car so dodgy now? Like, it's been fine all race, and suddenly now it's like, oh, I'm gonna step out and spin every lap. Part of me wants to continue on without repairing this damage. But, again, tires flat spotted. Yeah, you know, okay, car's been a little dodgy through that corner, especially when we had damage and mismatched tires, but you know, then it was fine since we made pit stop, new tires, and then it's like, oh, now the car's just really snappy through there. I don't know if it's like temperature related, but yeah, I don't get it. Only about 40 seconds of damage. We'll see if the pit stop is longer than it should be again. Or longer than it says it will be. Oh yeah, it's again going longer. That's odd. Because in the race I was doing it like, yo, yeah, the last time given is how long the stop is. Actually behind some of the GT3s for overall now. Yeah, everything in LMU is done separately. But generally how the game works is if, you know, tires take 13 seconds to do all 4. Then if you were to do damage, it won't tell you how long the damage takes. It should tell you how long, at what point the damage will be finished. You know, so there's one stop earlier that, you know, it said, like, I can't remember exactly, but it should be that the final time that you see listed there. I'm gonna cut because there was like 2 hypercars fighting there and I didn't want to get in the way of them. Hi! I give up. I allowed 2 hypercars to pass, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, you should get track limit warning there. This game really baffles me at times. I'm just going to try and get a bit more temperature into the tires. Maybe I shouldn't have been... You know, maybe it's the tires being a bit cooler still. Could also be the fact that I took one rear wing out. The car wanted to snap there, it wanted to. I could feel it starting to, and it just strained the steering wheel up. Yeah, the game has had a number of issues with the latest update. I mean, it's had a hotfix all 3 days since. That tells you how many issues there are with it. That Lexus stopped the wall and I followed it into the wall. Luckily, no damage. Right, this is purely a time trial now. Still sort of regaining confidence with the car. But I would say that weaving that I did last lap to get heat into the tires probably added an extra 1% to the tire wear. Just trying to not lock up the tires. Give myself more flat spots. Got one GT3 car to pass. And then we've got quite a gap. So we should have clear air to have a good lap. Next lap. Evening, Tim. Instant free, no. I mean, luckily we haven't had any issues with anyone else. A couple of close calls when people have had their own crashes and have ended up sideways across the track, but no, it's just been either some performance issues with the game at the start, and some self-deaths. Especially recently. Don't turn into early again. Don't know my track limits at this point. Good exit from the Dunlop chicane. Oh, that lockup isn't good. You're down 2 seconds in the McLaren at Spa with the update. Yeah, I've been back to car. Maybe I should do that. Take the Mustang around Spa. Although then again it was wet at Spa and it'd be difficult to replicate the exact conditions we had on Monday. Maybe go back to another track. Maybe Portimao. Ten minutes left. Quarter of a second up here. I wonder, could we get sub 340? Cutting the corner isn't going to help. Very fine line between quick, fast, and death. Yeah. You could tell that in the Mustang when I drove it a bit round here on Wednesday. But I never drove the Mustang around Le Mans before, so I didn't have like reference time for myself. Yeah, I must admit, like, I wasn't a big fan of the Mustang because I didn't have a feeling of when the car might let out. It's just, yeah, sometimes it let go on you, sometimes it didn't. And it was very confusing. Oh, I love the Porsche curves. It is easily the best part of this track. Yep. Sub 340. Especially when you've got new tires and you can just sand it through. Then a lock a tire into that left-hander. Shoes on the Delta. Even braver through Tetra Rouge. This time 3/10 up coming onto the Mulsanne. Sorry Alan, I don't speak Spanish, I think that is. Get another 10th in there, but I think I'm going to catch this GT3 at the awkward point of in the middle of this chicane. Yeah, I am. Yeah, if I didn't lift there and I was a couple of car lengths closer, I just would have got ball-necked on the exit. Oh well. Technically a move for position though. Yeah, it seems like we actually... left quite a bit of time on the table last lap. Have a Peugeot behind us. You can tell with the headlights. Has a snap of, or slight lock of the rear brakes. Car spun on the inside there, so we have 5 minutes remaining. mean, I recognize one that starts with 1. Of course, from the infamous card game Uno. But the rest of it, okay, even though I did do Spanish for a few years in secondary school because we were forced to, I was never great at languages. I didn't carry on any on for GCSEs, and looking for the real Le Mans, and you find this. It does say in the title, Le Mans Ultimate. So, you've only got yourself to blame for wasting your time. Also, the title starts with SROL. Why would the IRL? The Mon stuff start with that. We're closing up on the GT3 in front, obviously we're closing up to, but the LMP2 in front we're closing up to as well. Not having quite an amazing lap this lap as we were having last lap before we had traffic. I mean, you'll probably get some people streaming it, not legally. But anyway, I mean, there's nothing on at the moment for them on. The only thing on would be support races, big twitch for the LP2 in front. We're on a really bad line there. Another parachute closing up to us. One minute left on the timer. Where is the number 1 hypercar? It's currently going down the Mulsanne, so this will be the final lap of the race. Little front right lock up as BMW braked a little earlier than I was expecting, and it's just trying to make sure I slow down before running into the back of them. That's a bit of a cut. Didn't get anything from it though. A little bit of slipstream, please, Mustang. I go per exit. I want a bit more speed. The racer in me wants to get past the LMP2 in front. It's not for position, but I would. And yes, Iris also makes a good point. Some teams stream their in-car onboards on YouTube. Yes, give me your slipstream. I need it. And they've gone for it. Well, that's a heart attack. I was like, I have a feeling here they're going to maybe come back onto the track, just with the nature of that, you know, which way the chicane goes and where they were spinning. I was like, so that's why I was sort of cautious. I was like, oh, I think I've got away with this. I think they'll park it on the inside. No, they get back. They slid back onto the track. And obviously they were off in my blind spot when I was taking the racing line. That was, whew, that was scary. Well, we did get in front of them, as I was wanting to. Not how I expected to do it. Okay, the game might not be fully fixed with this DNF thing, because like the car behind us, I don't think even started the race. But whatever they did, they weren't classified as did not finish, maybe not until the time ran out. But they didn't complete a lap, so they're 34 laps back. I'll be a track a minute, don't care still. But they're still being classified in front of everyone that did complete laps. That doesn't feel right. Anyway, across the line to finish and secure P7. Yeah, difficult race. Difficult race indeed. Yeah, they might have waited in the pits. But this is fun thing. Yeah, it's classifying two cars 40 laps down, 0 laps completed above all these other cars that did laps. Well, we had 54 people, quote unquote, 54 people start the race. 21 Hypercars, 12 LMP2s, and 21 GT3s. No, you wouldn't have seen. They would have been parked in the garage. You know, like if you notice when we were parked in our box, you could see one of the BMWs, GT3s parked in the garage, sort of in front of us. But yeah, well, only 33 finishing. Let's discount. So we'd 51 people technically start and complete at least one lap of the race. One person DNF'd on lap 1. 4 DNF'd by lap 4. 6 by lap 10. 10? By 10 by lap 20. Or 12 by lap 20. Yeah, well. Yeah, with 20 people DNF or DNS out of 54. Or 21 people, I should say. And there goes the last GT3 to finish. Our best time, 139.8, was faster than P6 by a long margin. They were really off the pace. Faster than P5, faster than P3. Not far from P2, so nowhere close to P1, though. They were different different classes. I think someone else was saying in chat. Yeah. Yeah, track down to 18 degrees at the end. That's a good 30 degrees cooler than it was at the start of the race. You can see a lot of hypercars taking soft tires at the end. But yeah, interesting race. Does seem like I'm going to need to turn down the graphics settings a bit more for these big grid races. I thought setting it to limited to like 38 cars would be fine because I've never had an issue at any other race apart from these big grid ones where you have about 60 people or 50 people. So I thought, oh well, then theoretically, game should be fine on 38. Nah, apparently not. So, and I don't think turning the cars down even further is gonna help that. Because even if you turn like the visible car count, let me go into settings. Graphics. Where visible vehicles. 30. It was on 40. I guess it's turn off live TV displays. That probably helps. That'll probably help. Yeah, I do. I wonder if I have my settings turned up high. But yeah. I thought it'd be fine having this visible vehicles. It's like, oh, well, then, it's only loading 38 cars. And I've done plenty of cars, full grade races when it's, only the typical 38. I was like, oh, yeah, it'll be fine there. Nope. Hardly not. So, yeah. Yeah, I suppose that can stay down a bit too. Oh, and maybe it'll be a case of, oh, I'm doing a 60 driver race in the future. I'll just turn this down high and then turn it back up as well. Although if I am doing broadcast streams, I'll need to turn this up. That's the only annoying thing. Oh, it also changes this. Yeah, I'd like that back. I suppose turning it. It's only really start that matters. I don't like having it. Turn that off. But yeah, I'll leave it here. I can actually set preset name. Let's just see if this is max. Save. And then I might make one that's like big grid. That's lower settings. That's yeah, that's probably what I will do. But yeah, I certainly did feel like the performance issues in the frame rate at the start affected the physics that I was experiencing. Definitely contributed to the big lockup I had in that first stint, and thus the flat spot I carried through that whole first stint that was getting really bad towards the end. Well, especially after I had the second lockup on it, then it really, really killed it. But yeah. As always, at the end streams, we're going to do a little bit of Art of Rally. And also, I want to critique OBS here for a moment. I've just noticed this. When you now in OBS, if you've ever used it, you'll know that you can have different profiles and different scene collections. Scene collections is basically all the like scenes you see, you know, like face cam, you know, game, you know, when you transition from screen to screen, and what you're showing on stream. And then your profile is all sort of your settings stuff, like what channels you're connected to, your stream keys. Right. Cheers for tuning in, Tim Bob. Hope you have a good evening and have a good weekend. And we'll see you later on. But yeah, you have all your settings, your like stream keys, and all your bit rate, etc., in your profile. But there's one setting. But it seems like some settings don't transfer with the profile because on a different profile, I turned off the setting that automatically starts recording when you stream. Because I set up with a different tool for the recording to start at a different moment. So instead of like recording a whole stream intro and then having that on the video, it's like, right, it'll only start recording after a certain video has finished playing. Just to save up a little bit of space on my hard drive without me doing anything. And it works for that. But that's settings carried over to my other profile I use for my own streams, not for streaming on another community's channel. And I'm not a fan of that. I want to I want the recording to start at the start for me for my own streams, but no, it's not, and that annoys me. That does annoy me a bit. But hey, there's yeah. So yeah, Art of Rally. Daily event. We'll run the weekly event tonight. Yeah, why not? Board, we ran this Tuesday. 21st. Good run on Tuesday. Top 5%. Better than 35 for the 27th. We're on a decent run at the moment. So let's see. 5.8 kilometers in a Group 2 car in the fog at Indonesia. Mini! Classic Mini. Gotta love the Mini. No mistaking the Mini indeed. That's a little too sideways. Also, hope you weren't wanting some fruit from that fruit stall. It may be ruined. I can tell you this is not going to be a quick stage time. I am not driving very well here. Yeah, I loved the Mini on Dirt Rally 1. Because I got this special, or I think it was when my parents got me the special edition of Dirt Rally, where in the career mode your Mini was already like fully upgraded, rather than you having to unlock the upgrades. And back then, I wasn't as big into rally as I am now. Nowhere near as much. In fact, I was barely into rally at all, if at all. Dirt Rally was really the only rally experience I had. And so the way it would go is, if I drove on Dirt Rally and played it consistently, I'd get into good rhythm, good groove, and I'd be decent at it. But then then I'd stop playing for a little bit, fall out of it, and then when I try and get back into it, I'd really struggle. And it'd take me a while to get back into it. Sometimes I didn't get back into it, I dropped it immediately, and then we'd maybe try again. But yeah, I enjoyed the Mini, and I never went past it in the career mode. I didn't play it that much to be like, oh yeah, I'm constantly driving this Mini, I want to drive something else. I was happy driving the Mini. But yeah. As I said, wasn't going to be the greatest of times here. 42nd, top 15%, not too bad, considering the struggles. But yeah, wasn't expecting it to be anything amazing. I can't remember. Did I actually do the weekly event earlier? I think I might have done it on Tuesday. I think I did. Yes, I have done it. We're currently sitting 35th in top 5%. Not bad. I mean, better than the 45th, the 59th. The 39th so far. Nozga's the 27th. We had a few weeks, a month ago back in May. Much better than 126th back there. But yeah, 35th. Let's see if we can, hopefully we can stay in the top 40. But yeah, top 5%, that's a decent run. Yeah. So we will have to check back on that on Sunday and Monday. When the event ends. Or just on Sunday, it'll be over on Sunday. By Sunday. So, yeah, that is going to be it for today's stream. Long one, been going just over 3 hours, so decently lengthed. For a surprise stream. So yeah, was good fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the LMP2s. I usually do, even if I'm not, even if I constantly make mistakes with them. Yeah, I don't know how many races I've crashed off in them, but yeah. Um, yeah, it's a bit, I'm annoyed at a couple of the mistakes. Some of it I'm just really like confused by. Um, I'm annoyed about the start as well. The performance issues. I thought would have solved it by turning the car limit down from like 60 the previous time to 40. It wasn't as bad as it was at that Spa race where it had issues. Though I think there were a few less cars in this race than there were in that Spa race, so that could maybe explain it, or maybe that car difference did actually have an influence. It just didn't have as much of a influence as I was hoping for, let's just say. But hey, at least we know for next time. Um, but yeah. Yeah. Someone else also mentioning that they even tested, and they were, to be fair, the organizer did say, "Oh, test with like AI cars." And I was like, "Well, I've changed down the cars since the last race. I felt like it'd be fine, maybe a little foolishly." But someone else is saying they did do a test with a grid of 55 AI cars, they had no issues, and then come this race, they were struggling a bit through the first few laps. Um, but yeah, so maybe it's a bit worse online. Um, yeah. Thank you, Iris. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Geeky, all for joining in. Kevin as well. Actually, a few people in lurking throughout the stream. I think they're mostly gone now, but if you're still here, thank you very much for watching. If you're watching the VOD back, thank you very much. And yeah, thank you all, I mentioned, for chatting around and being around for the stream. Hope you all enjoyed. Even if it was a bit messy, especially towards the end. Um, Well, yeah, fun race still. We'll be back on Sunday in a couple of days for the continuation of the 100 series, and we'll be at the new track at Qatar. Could be interesting. I think it's going to be a little bit similar to Portimao when it comes to strategy. When I did a little bit of test racing to get the thumbnail, and obviously a little bit of practice with the new track since I've never driven it before. Um, yeah, what I seen sort of from the tires at least reminded me of um, Portimao and sort of how that went. I didn't check the fuel strategy exactly, so I don't know if fuel saving will be needed or not. We'll have to wait and see. Um, but yeah, and then after that on Monday. Obviously, in the hypercar on Sunday and the Porsche. On Monday, we'll be out back for the GT3 Festival. We've been in the Mustang so far for the season. We're going to Bahrain Outer. Might switch to another car. I'm going to do some testing, um, to see how the Mustang feels, and then compare it with a couple of other cars. Because if the Mustang is going to be very snappy, very inconsistent, and it's not going to be enjoyable. So yeah, I'd rather drive something else. So yeah, I'd rather not switch cars, but yeah, at the end of the day, I still want to have an enjoyable experience. I still want, yeah, drive something um I can have some confidence in, and decent pace, because the Mustang also seems a bit slow. I don't be dropping off the back of the grid because I'm struggling to be slow, or and struggling for consistency if I push. So yeah, we will see how that goes on Monday. And then, of course, we've got some rally coming up in the near future. We've got Dirt Rally 2. We're going to be doing Rally GT at New Zealand for an event soon, also hosted by SROL, or hosted tonight's race, as well as round 4 of their Richard Burns Rally ERC Championship. So yeah, plenty to come up in the near future. Those rally streams, we'll see when they appear. But yeah, we'll also have a GT1 race next Saturday. The next and final round of the series that we joined in on for last month in May at Trio Riveras. Hopefully that'll be a good fun race. 2 hours again of good action. That is already listed on the channel. So yeah, thank you all again very much for watching. Hope you all have a good sort of rest of your weekend until Sunday evening. But yeah, until then, take care, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.